Sunday afternoon, about 1 o'clock, I guess, here in Nashville. I was just doing some stuff around the house this morning, and I was thinking about this YouTube channel that actually kicked off today. And, tons of thoughts going through my mind. Probably most of them not helpful. All of a sudden, that kind of little bit of anxiety kind of on the right here starts saying, you got to entertain people. You've got to live up to expectations. You have to be this. And, there's so much out there. And, to compete with that, you have to be more interesting. The end of that sentence is what I finished in that kind of internal dialogue, more interesting than I am. I'm just not. I'm just living life. I happen to hold a guitar for a lot of the time, and I love it. But before I get going too far down this rabbit hole, and I intend to go as far down the rabbit hole with these episodes, I really want to just express something to you, who are taking your time to listen to me. I don't want you to think that I think that I just know it all. I really don't. That's why I guess I called it the experience. I mean, we're all having this experience, right? Different iterations of it. All I can do is share what I've been through, and that requires me doing a little bit of thinking about it, which is in some ways new to me, because most of what I've done in music has been a reaction to what's in front of me. And I think that's fair enough, and that's how I've evolved, survived, or whatever. But as I hit this point in my life, when I'm thinking about how I'm going to express this to those of you who are interested in whatever facet, we address, whether it's, thank you, by the way, for all the comments on, what giant solos I should address. Actually, it was more confusing because everybody said different songs. There were a few overlaps. So probably what I'll do is I'll just pick a couple out of a hat and just go with it. All right, here's another rabbit hole. We'll just start the rabbit holes today, and we'll see where it takes me. I'm not filming this with camera and lights or whatever. This is just me sitting at my kitchen table with outside lighting, and I'm going to go with it. Solos. I remember one time when I was asked to speak at GIT. This is when I was in my 20s. And I was there several times. One time we were with Giant. We actually played. I can't remember if we did Q&A after that, but regardless of that, one time I remember a question that's come up through the years, which it took me off guard. The question was, how long did it take you to do that solo? Meaning, did you improvise that? Did you get that first take, second take? Did it take you a long time to get it? There's a lot to unpack with that question. How I reacted was I froze at first, because I think the solo, whatever they were referring to, probably took me a while to do it. And so I couldn't say, yeah, I just blow that stuff out just willy-nilly. I don't know that I'm that kind of musician. Anyway, I tend to be drawn in by composition, and basically I want to hear a story unfold, whether it's in a song, whether it's in a whole project, whether it's in this case, what I'm talking about, a solo, a small segment of a song. I still want a story inside the story. And I did think of later, I wish I had this answer. It's like when somebody's painting a picture, they're painting something, oil painting, watercolor, or a sculptor, whatever. I would think it'd be absurd if somebody said, how long did it take you to do that? Some of the greatest works of art took some of these master artists years of their lives. And sometimes they would start and stop, throw it away, and start over again. I'm not comparing my guitar solos to any of that stuff, but you get the point, right? That started kind of this internal dialogue through my whole guitar life, from my 20s until now, I don't think I've ever totally resolved it. And I'll tell you why. I mean, I've done the solos that I've wanted to do, and you know, apparently they hit a lot of times and they resonate with people, and that's great. They resonate with me, you know, depending if I was being hired to play this, so I'd have a limited amount of time, or if I was doing something on my own. But I think I ducked the question for most of my life. You know, we guitar players tend to be kind of alpha oriented, right? I mean, you don't have to be a male to know what I'm talking about. We are the proverbial wide receivers in the NFL. We like to fly, and we like to praise, like our own praise and everybody else. And so all through my life, I think I've skirted the question, and the question gets deeper as the years kind of roll on with me. I'm getting ready to play a guitar camp this October, I think. Andy Wood's great guitar player, freaking monster. And I can't remember all the names that he's invited, but he gets really serious guitar players to come out there. And he invited me this year. And you know what? So I'm going to try to be honest the whole time. This is not humble. Don't mistake this for being humble. This has nothing to do with any of that stuff. This is just being honest, what goes on kind of in the gray matter here. I'm going to do it, and kind of out of my comfort zone, because at first blush, I don't have the facilities that most of these guitar players. Well, I'll just say even, you know, Andy. I mean, Andy just like is staggering in his technique. And the reason I'm doing it, he asked, number one, and I was honored to do it. But I think part of me is wanting to do this because it relates to this question: how long did it take? How good are you? You know, how really good are you? And my answer, as of this weekend, is I have another question that replaces that question, and that's my question. What do I care about? What do I want to say? Do I have any thoughts that I think are worthy of expressing? This just picking the guitar. I think the answer is yes, because first of all, I love it, and I don't know how to not play the guitar. There's always something to be played on, and people ask me to play, and you know, I just did a solo record, my only one really. We can discuss the fact there's something out on the internet that on the streaming services that is not my solo record. That was done to me. I don't want to get too much into that right now. It gets me upset. So I have one solo record out. I'll just leave it at that. And I started to say something on that. I don't know if any of you, who've heard it, were a little shocked that it wasn't like an extension of the 80s or my Giant experience. Because it wasn't. I mean, there are certain things, I think, in the way I play the guitar. I think at my core, I'm a romantic. I love melodies that just swirl and ascend, tension, release, drop off cliffs. So it takes some technique, right? But it takes nuance within the vibrato, note choice, obviously. The dynamics, all that stuff is what really, it makes me tick. It's what moves me. And watch this. Boy, this was a rabbit hole. I just kind of forgot. I'll catch the wave here in a second. Where am I going with this? My question. What do I really want to say? What I just described is part of the way that music hits me. So I want to be consistent. Like when I play in front of people, I'm going to play, I think Randy asked me to do 3 of my songs. I'm going to do that. And my goal is there'll be improvisation within it. I'll make sure that I learn what I think are the nuts and bolts of those songs besides the melody, certain points that I did work out in the solos that I don't want to be stricken kind of from even my live playing. But I want it to be open enough so that, if the inspiration hits, I can move with that. But what my hope is, and this is the answer to the question way back when, how long did it take? as long as it takes. That's really the answer, to get to the point where I'm saying something that I really mean from, we call it heart, we call it soul. I mean, it's the mind, soul, it's all the same thing, right? But when you say something, you say it true, you feel, what do you want to call it? Whole, peaceful. You put your own adjectives in there. There's meaning to it, right? And it's not predicated, dependent on how many people agree with you, affirm it with you. The affirmations, it comes first from here. You know it. Of course, we all want people to love us, like us. Even in this little piece I'm sharing with you, this is, by the way, this is me. I'll never be Tom Bukovac. You guys should see him in the studios. This guy was born to do what he's doing. He's one of the best I know that's out there. I want you guys to like me even by saying this, and I'm trying to let go of all that stuff. Hence no lights, and I just figured, what the hell? I'll just start yapping, and we'll see where this goes. But I may do some of these from time to time, because these thoughts hit me, and I don't think I can do this just kind of on call, like I'll be with Robert and he's got his lights and all that kind of stuff, and we'll have an agenda, an episode idea. And I know he's not going to want me to get off on these tangents, but I think some of this conversation is going to go hand in hand with some of the playing. Next week, he and I are going to film. I think we're going to do this giant thing, and also a little thing on a pedal board. I have a small pedal board that I like. I strayed along for a long time away, no effects. I think I used enough delay and chorus during the 80s and 90s to last me a lifetime, so I kind of went the opposite way. And now I'm kind of ingratiating a little bit of the pedals back into my life. So we're going to do a little episode on that. It's going to be a creative way, because we're going to do it at his house without all of my gear. And so it'll be kind of in the moment, kind of assessing tones and trying to work the pedal board into his equipment. I digress again. Anyway, this moment here is something I was thinking about while I was working out this morning, and I just had to share it with you. And hopefully, what this is a reminder to me, to when I take these moments and turn on the camera and start talking to those who are listening, that I try to be as authentic as I can possibly be. That won't happen all the time, because I'm as full of shit as everybody is, so take that with a grain of salt, but this is what I intend to do. And I think it's a real big deal. I'm landing this plane. This is about it, right? So hang with me for 2 more seconds. I think there's a number of you out there. I'm sure there's a number of you that you don't see it the same way that I do, and that's great. You do what you do. But I think there's a significant number of people that are insecure in that way, about, maybe it takes me a little longer to do something. I have to hum my ideas before I play them, or I have to work out the technique to articulate that. That's me, right? I have a decent amount of technique, and if you've ever seen me play live, which was a long time ago, that is there. But that's not the essence of what I aspire, what I want to say, and what I ultimately want to do. And so sometimes that means you just have to be willing to, be patient, work it out, ask yourself the question, is this what I want to say? And if it's not, keep working on it. That's really what I do. Until somebody tells me, look, we like what you said, so we're paying for it. So, but in the case of like me working on my own records, or on just stuff on my time and my dime, I guess, I'm learning. I've learned better at it, probably not perfect, to just give it time. Wait for that moment. Inevitably, it'll come to you. You'll recognize it, and sometimes it comes also in letting yourself make mistakes. Improvise, jam. You may, out of 20 minutes of jamming, find 2 phrases that really stick with you. Well, that 20 minutes was worth it. Get rid of the rest. Hold on to the gems, and and start kind of taking those and building your own repertoire, building the way that you express yourself. All right, I'm going to stop here because I'll do more of this, right? See you the next time, and hope it meant something to you. It sure meant something to me to get it off my chest. I'm going to go get some lunch. See you.